The first game I want to go over is the game against Ray Robson, where I was playing black. And yeah. So the question is, in this position, how should we start? So it's black to move here. Some of you are giving the right idea, but we don't want to play it in this position yet, because if we play it here, there's I think there's a bit of a problem. Let's see. Yeah, so I think here the point is if we play b3, sorry, c takes b3, knight b4, we run into bishop takes h7, knight g5, and then queen h3. And yeah, I mean, you can use whatever chat you want, basically. Yeah, so this would be a little bit dangerous. But if we go back, we first play rook d8, actually. Because if we play bishop a6, yeah, if we play bishop a6, there's again bishop h7. Knight g5, queen here, and it gets quite chaotic for black. So rook d8 is a nice move to start with, because then if white does this, sorry. Okay, I guess there's b3 and knight e4. Sorry, CB you can play a4. I mean AB you can play a4, and here you can play knight e4. So maybe it was still a good try after rook d8, but Ray played here, right? And then the problem with that is that now there's bishop a6, which is let's say a bit annoying. And after f5, this is now where we have to play our move, which is what? What move should we play with black here? All right, let's see. Okay, so yeah, people are getting it. Yeah, b3 is correct idea. If they play here, we play a4 and we blow up their position. And yeah, exactly. It's attacking with pawn storms. Yeah, and if we play here, we play d4. Very important move. Queen here, because if they take, we're winning here. So they have to play queen g5. And how should black continue their attack here? How should black continue here. Black to play. What should we do here? Seems like everyone wants h6. Which is correct. Okay, queen h5. What to do next? Yeah, so h6 is correct. Yeah, queen h5. What to do next? Yeah, we have a lot of interesting answers here. So I saw a4. I saw knight takes b3. I saw bishop takes d3. Let's see. Does anyone else have any other answers? I know knight takes d3 is also considered. Is there any other answers that I'm missing? Okay. Yeah, so bishop takes and then knight takes. Okay. So we have bishop takes, rook takes, knight takes. We have a4. We have knight takes b3. Did I miss something? King f8 here. Okay. Then probably f6, but yeah. All right, let's see what so the correct move is actually bishop takes d3. We'll go back to this position a little later, but I'll try to first find the best move in this position before I reveal the answer. Because this move is very important. I was a bit lucky, to be honest, that I had this move from far away. Yeah. Jazz got it, yeah. Yeah, we play queen b5, right? The point is that it seems like easy to automatically just calculate this, but this gets very crazy and chaotic, right? They play g5, and then this is like huge mess after g5. And a while back, I assumed I have to go into it, but then once I got closer, I realized, to my pleasant surprise, that I could play queen b5, and this is just incredibly strong, right? It disturbs his harmony, because after this, I just go knight e4, and yeah, I can bring my queen into the defense, and this is just a huge deal. Like I discombobulate his forces. And then queen d5, one last accurate move that kind of seals the deal. I centralize the queen, I attack the knight, and I bring my queen into good defensive position. And the rest is, I would say, fairly easy. And then I won. He played out till the end, but yeah, basically I won the game. But yeah, let's explore these alternatives here. First of all, after b3, I'm already winning. If he goes here, I go a4. Now, after d4, queen g5, h6, queen here. Yeah, a4 is interesting, right? But the thing is, g5, it gets very messy because ab, there's a3. That's kind of the problem, right? And we don't quite get as strong of an attack as we want here, right? And knight b4 is also a bit slow after g5, so it gets a little bit unclear. And knight takes b3 again doesn't have a much of a threat. It looks exciting, but after g5, g takes, white is sort of just crashing through, right? So yeah, the only way was to do this, right? I was glad I found it, and then I was able to win a nice game as a result. Okay. The next game we'll take a look at is one of my games against Andrew Tang. This game was an important win for me in the online US Championship qualifier, which is, well, actually maybe we'll look at that game a little later. So maybe I'll skip that game for now. Think the next game we'll see is the game Tanya Sajdov against Alice Lee from the Olympiad. And that game Tanya was white, Alice was black, our American player. That was it started with a semi-Slav, Cambridge Springs, but white here took on d5. After e3, like there's queen a5, so yeah, takes e3, h6, bishop h4, bishop e7, queen c2, castles, bishop d3. Yeah, then rook e8, castles long, b5, bishop g3. Yeah, now white's threatening knight b5, followed by uh, bishop c7. Well, it's a QGT, not QGA. King b1, bishop a6, knight e5. Uh, uh, then after knight e5, we had knight takes d5, d takes d5, knight d7, knight e2, knight here, knight d4, queen b6, bishop f5, bishop f8, bishop f4, b4. And now white starts attacking g4, so white's already like much better. G6. And here we have a lot of tempting options. However, which of these tempting options is the best? I think black was already maybe in trouble even without g6, but how do you think white should continue? How should white continue in this position? Now, for this one, I want deeper answers. I don't want just one move answers. I want follow-ups. This is very important. And maybe even like a reason why an alternative isn't working. Because with the main chat, you guys could just copy the answer, yeah? But we want to make sure we justify. Um, So we have a few moves to consider. I'll give you guys a little bit of time to think. Yeah, Tanya has only 11 minutes, right? Which made things a little harder here. And by the way, they did not agree to a draw here. They drew later. So okay, so far we got like some answers. Some people saying h4. Obviously, some people say bishop g6. Some people say e6, right? So any other suggestions that I'm missing? So I have e6, bishop takes g6, h4. Was there any other answer I missed? G5. Okay, yeah, G5. Maybe rook G1. Right. So there's like a lot of possibilities here. Um, so we will look at these other possibilities later, which like bishop G6, H4, rook G1, G5. But first let's go over bishop takes G6, which is the most tempting option, right? So after bishop takes G6, it looks completely crushing because black must take more or less. Queen takes. Um, now black could choose between bishop G7. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, 6 minutes. I mean, this is a very critical moment, right? So, of course, she's going to spend a lot of time here because there's a lot of options to consider, right? And white is about to be winning potential, right? So now bishop G7 is losing pretty easily because, okay, first of all, here there's a knight f5, right? And if you played there, here, here, there's, I think that, yeah, no, here white's just winning, I think. Uh, here, yeah, like this has to be winning, I think. Maybe I didn't, maybe I misplayed it a bit. Yeah, maybe bishop h6 is better. Well, anyway. Uh, ah, Zoom thing is in the way. Sorry. Yeah, so king h8 is like the main defense. But it looks like after e6, you know, oh, sorry, I should have accidentally showed the answer. Yeah, I was gonna make you find that. But yeah, basically, the only defense black has here is queen b7, which Alice found after thinking for 4 minutes. If you don't find that, you lose the game, right? Because, for example, if you go here, this is winning for white. If you go here, it's also winning for white. But queen b7 is a nice defense. And it turns out that here, position is actually not so clear. And yeah, basically, yeah, they repeated moves. White was low on the clock. And yeah, the position is actually not so clear. So yeah, it ended up not being winning for white. Um, instead of that, mm, the best move is e6, but not with the idea of e takes f7. Because if we take on f7, they take back king takes. We go queen takes, king g8, queen g6, king h8, um, bishop takes h6. Queen c7. And it's not so clear. However, here we can play something better, right? We can play g takes f5. And then we're winning because we go rook g1, bishop e5. So if we turn on the engine, you'll see white is winning here. Also, you can start with rook g1 first. But probably Tanya mainly calculated e takes f7 in this position, which seems more natural with checks. But there, black actually defends, so we need to open up the g file, which was maybe a little hard to see, if that makes sense. If you go f takes e6, bishop takes g6, that's also very strong. But yeah, actually, it kind of does, right? It's one of the better defenses, but still, you should be lost. But yeah, the other moves, yeah, like this one doesn't really win, and the other moves they're decent, but there's no winning. It's not immediately winning. For example, h4, knight e4, you can clog up the diagonal, right? And it's just not that easy in this position, right? It's like good, but it's not winning. Same thing with rook g1, right? It's not quite winning. You have time to go clog up the game and then get counterable with c5. And g5 again, good, but yeah, there's 94. So you kind of like, I think that's the annoying resource they have, is to clog up the diagonal, right? So that's important. All right, so let's move on to the next game. Avirbach against sorry, not that game actually. I wanted yeah, let's do this one. So this one, let's do some exercises now. All right, so this one is black to play. What should we do here? Exercise off of the theme. So it's black to move. What do you think we should do? So let's see what we got. All right, so we got a lot of answers already. Okay, so I see a lot of people put c5 and some people put g5. So besides c5 and g5, were there any other answers? D5, okay. So I see d5, I see c5, I see g5. Is there anything else queen d6, okay. Is there anything else I missed? Bishop takes c3, okay. Okay, so 5 different answers. Is there anything else that I missed? Okay, let's review this. The best move is to play g5. G5. Um, The most direct someone said a5. Okay, let's see. So yeah, let's go through the all of the moves. Okay, so basically the point of g5 is first of all to open up the game, the king's side, the king's side, right? To basically attack, right? Open up, not really caring about pawns, just opening up the game, but also deals with e5. So for example, c5, I think e5 is the problem, right? So I guess some of you might have just overlooked that after e5, the bishop is just trapped, right? And there's not much you can do, right? So c5 is sort of the right idea to go here and open up the bishop, but you got to make sure you look at opponent's ideas. Pawn storms, attacking is the theme. So c5 would be, of course, a mistake. And the other moves are just not as powerful, right? So let's say queen d6. I mean, trading queens here, then we don't have much of an attack, and our pawn structure is not that impressive, and white will definitely be okay here. Bishop takes c3 is like okay, but after this and queen d4, queen a7, okay, it's also not so clear. So bishop c3 is apparently second best move. D5, again, e5, right? So again, we have to deal with this e5, right? If we okay, so this. Yeah, I guess if there's no queen d4, it's pretty good. Yeah, so bishop c3 is second best, but the best move was to play g5 because after g5, where we have a very big attack. I mean, their best try is maybe e takes f5, but now we can play c5, right? Because we got rid of this e5 threat, right? And now we have a huge attack. Um, so white understandably clogged up the center, but after this, you know, the king is going to be very weak for white. And white sort of collapsed in this position. Um, it's very hard to play. Bishop went to f8. The last piece is joining the game after like queen c5, bishop takes, queen h7, and white resigned. All right, so let's take a look at the next example, which is Blackburn against Zuckertot. This one is a white to move. What should we do? Let's see. Yeah, okay, so most people I think have this. Yeah, this is not so difficult. We just play b5. Although technically a4 is like not too much worse. Rook b1 is not too much worse. But yeah, b5 is the most direct move. Queen a5, pretty straightforward, right? You open up lines. We don't worry about material. And yeah, the attack is obviously very strong. Yeah, and white is essentially winning. And the last move was nice. Yeah, you could win the queen, but mate is of course better. Um, okay. The next one we'll see is this one, which is Rubinstein was black. What should we play as black here? All right, so let's see what we have. We have 94, we have G5, we have Bishop F4. Did I oh, we have D takes C4. Did I miss something? So I see four moves were mentioned. 94, Bishop F4. Oh, Bishop F3, okay, also. Okay. So Bishop F3, Bishop F4, G5, 94. All right, let's see. The move played in the game was G5. Although, to be fair, in this position, there are many moves that are just as good. Um, like, so it's not like there's like a clear wrong answer. Although the one line that was mentioned, I don't think that works because we can just go knight f3. So that was a bit too much. But yeah, if we go back, yeah, this is certainly playable to do this and then G5. Certainly reasonable. 94, very reasonable move. D takes C4 first, and then Bishop F4, and then putting pressure on D4. There are a lot of interesting moves here, honestly. But G5 was played in the game, and Black ended up doing it like this. So yeah, I think basically again a lot of possibilities, but you all kind of, eventually White did not resign, I don't think, but yeah, Black eventually won this game. Okay, the next one is Black to move. What should we do here? Hmm. Well, Vihan is correct. Um, let's see what answers we have so far. So far we have knight takes d4, we have g5, we have b5. Let's see, do we have anything else? So we have rook dg8 as well. Knight cd4 or d4. Queen a5, queen d8, okay. F takes e5. But okay, queen should go back to d8, yeah, maybe. But yeah, I think the best move is g5. Best move is g5, the most direct. Because here, I mean, maybe I can take fe, right? That's kind of annoying. This one I don't think works at all, right? This would just be gonna be kind of good for white, I think. Um, and okay, if we play g5, um, yeah, if we play rook g8, that's definitely fine as well. We can play that and then g5. But I think g5 is just the most forcing. It's probably the easiest. Knight d1 was played. Well, here there's g4, right? And then knight d6 c4 is very strong. Oh yeah, b5. Yeah, b5. b5, I guess we can just go here, and then here our own king gets slightly weakened. So probably not worth it to play b5. Yeah, I mean, we have a good grip on the queen side, so we should try to just like open the king side. Well, I guess, and then if you don't, and if white does not open it, then we go G4, and then we sort of get stuff going there anyway. And okay, eventually black. Yeah, I guess here Queen D8 maybe was a little better, but okay. This was still fine. Eventually, yeah, black was able to play H4 and open up the game. And now this nice move E5. Bishop F5, Bishop E4 is basically black is winning. And yeah. So that was yeah, exactly. Knight on B2 is was bad. Yeah, probably white should not have taken on F6, and probably white did not play it perfectly, but still black played a good attacking game. All right, let's take a look at Petrosian's game. How should we play with black here? Okay, I think most people put G5. Was there anyone who suggested something other than G5? Oh yeah, B5, yeah. B5, F6, C5. But yeah, I think F6, C5, I don't know. I think knight takes C5 is actually not good for us. But yeah, we can play B5 first, which I guess is interesting, although we do have to worry a little bit about this. But yeah, it's also pretty good. But Petrosian was one of these things, one of these players who didn't really want to give counterplay. So he just played G5, right? White played G4. Otherwise, black will play G4 themselves. And then they did this. And now they played B5. And white did sack at some point, but already kind of late. And eventually black won. Yeah, Petrosian was like a master of exchange sacks. And yeah, here white resigned. They're about to get mated. Um, okay. This one is black to move. What should we do here? This is Korchnoi's game. Korchnoi's black. Is Petrosian dynamic? Yeah, I mean, I would say he actually was pretty good at dynamics. He's like strategical slash dynamic type player. I mean, he was a world champion, so of course. Okay, this is black to play. I don't know if all of these are Frenches. I think that a lot of them are French structures, but not necessarily French opening, if that makes sense. I think we're all dynamic to some extent, yeah. Okay. So this is anyway, this is black to move. All right, so let's see. We have rook d g8, we have g4. Let's see, what else do we have? Um, we have f5, yeah. Okay, so we have f5, we have rook d g8, we have g4. Those are the three moves mentioned so far. Um, were there any other moves mentioned besides h5? Yes. Okay, let's go over it. Um, so black in the position played f5. I like the move f5 the most practically because after this is really good for black. This is what happened in the game. And if here, then you've basically got rid of the if you know this is also pretty nice because you have like a pawn storm now. So either you're gonna activate the bishop and you're gonna get a lot of play there, or yeah. So f5 seems to be pretty nice, although g4 doesn't seem to work, yeah, because I don't think there's really much of an attack here. Mm, rook g8, it's like fine, but maybe they can take and play c4. So I think f5 is a good move. Why is this better than that? Yeah, that I'm not so sure. That's like a complicated question. Maybe because c4 doesn't work as well because takes and then g4 and then d4 hangs with the rook on d8. But that's quite deep. Um, but I think practically I like f5 more. White played here, take here, rook c1, h5, c4, g4, knight e5, bishop takes, pawn takes, d4. Yeah, now black has a good knight against bad bishop. And finally, black ended up. And then, of course, b5, yeah. Just shutting down all the counterplay, preparing rook f5, rook d5. It's just very, very nice. And yeah, finally, black won this game. Okay, let's take a look. Um, all right, the next one, Spassky Petrosian. This is kind of a more famous example. So what should we play as black here? So a lot of people are saying G5. Um, but it's not the correct answer. Because if we play G5, well, knight takes G5, it's like, yeah, I mean, you open it up, but for what? Yeah, it's not clear what we have with the H file. Yeah, the right idea is H6 and then G5, right? We don't need to rush with that. Um, yeah, so H6 before white played G5 here, H5, then takes castles. And then there's also another instructive moment, C4, and then A6, just shutting down all of white's play, right? And now black is just winning, yeah. So it's a pretty famous, strategically winning. Um, King H1, Rook G8 here, because white has no counterplay. That's the problem. It might not be that bad according to the engine, but it's one of these positions with no counterplay. And then Petrosian sacked the exchange, his trademark. At least white got some counterplay, but it was not enough. And finally, yeah, F5 is also really nice. Yeah, because after takes, I guess knight F6 or even queen F6, it's pretty good. And yeah, this is a classic. This is a pretty famous classic, actually. E4, just knight G4, F3. So yeah, to answer your question, Petrosian sometimes played very good dynamic chess, right? Sometimes he was very good at dynamic chess. All right, Kasparov against Spielman. White to play. What should we play? Sometimes, well, I mean, sometimes he was didn't have to play dynamically, yeah. This one I'm not as sure if it's famous. So what should White do here? Yeah, so before was pretty good. Although engine says it's like nothing special, right? So there's like certainly other ways you can play as well. But before I think practically was good. Knight takes knight b5. I guess you can play a5, but it's like tricky for black to play this position. In the game, black played knight c2, bishop f3, and just won a massive attack. And Spielman was a very good player. I think he played the candidates. He was like one of English's top grandmasters, right? But yeah, white won the game pretty convincingly. Um, all right, the next one, Bareev Halifman. Bareev white. Also two top players back in their peak. Yeah, Halifman was world champion. Yeah, well, I mean, FIDE world champion. Yeah, I think everyone says Queen A3. Was there anyone who didn't say Queen A3? Also, I see Knight F4 also. Um, Queen C2. Yeah. Okay, yeah, to be honest, Knight F4 is also good, but okay, at least practically then they could trade queens and try to bail out, right? But Queen A3 B4 seems like a pretty good idea, right? B4, B5, Rook C1, right? And then it seems like White is doing pretty well, more practically. Queen C2 is like, okay, King B8. I think you would rather go Queen A3 to gain a tempo. And after this. Yeah, White just has a smooth sailing attack, right? And Bareev just dominated him in this game. Nice tactic, by the way, knight d6 if you take knight a6. And White won. All right, the next one we'll see is on Elvis Kasparov. All right, Black to move. All right, let's see. Yeah, so here Black played knight d7 to try to go g5. We can't go g5 quite yet. Doesn't work. But yeah, so Shanklin rule, yeah, we could try, but yeah, it doesn't work. Knight h7 is okay, but yeah, knight d7 to try to go g5 makes the most sense. Shanklin rule is like when you see an idea, you see something prevents it, and you ask yourself, can I do it anyway? This is what you call Shanklin rule. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, this is pretty simple. Kasparov, Shanklin method, yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, and black won. All right, I guess let's see my game against Andrew Tank, the Penguin GM. So I had very nice opening prep in this game. Okay, so Queen B3. Come on, just okay. Yeah, so here he, didn't trade queens for too long, so I figured now I can like keep the queens on and try to like attack him. Yeah, and here I sort of have a winning attack, but um what should we play as white here? Well, castle's queen g5, I think. No, f4 is not the only move. In fact, I found a better move here. King f2 I don't think works either, because queen g5, queen f5. Um let's see. All right, let's see. Let's check. Yeah, so d5 is the best move. Yeah, because if you don't play it, actually, it's not that easy. I mean, castles, I guess it doesn't lose, but it's not as clear because I can sack the queen here. That's the problem. If we play knight f4, um I queen h2, I don't think it's so clear. We can win again, we can win the queen, but it's not so clear either. Because you already sacked two pieces and we're gonna lose too much for the queen. But yeah, the best move is d5 here because bishop d5, we have this nice move queen f5, which essentially forces the, winning the queen. Um, yeah, knight, yeah, so that's probably easiest. And after knight e5, okay, he probably thought maybe he has something with knight d3, knight f3, but of course here I just played bishop takes f6. Yeah, and after knight d3 takes and rook h8, and I was able to deliver checkmate. All right, let's do one last one and then we'll end today. What should black play here? Yeah, of course we just play b3. Yeah, pretty simple. Yeah, like my game against Ray Robson. After this we play knight. Yeah, after this we can play knight b4 or a3, and after this we can also play knight b4, and then knight takes a bishop f5 and queen a6 takes a rook, and yeah, rook c8. So yeah, b4 is a pretty simple breakthroughs. Yeah, and as for US juniors, yeah, I think Andy has a good chance. I mean, he held this one against Mishra today, so kind of got him out of the way. So I think he has a good shot, but we'll see. Yeah, I remember Andy was here along with some others strong players. So Andy Woodward, yeah. All right. Any questions, anyone, everyone, on the class? All right. I guess that's it. I'll see you all uh next time. All right. Bye-bye.